Hori brings us the Pikachu Battle Pad. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting, bringing you an unboxing video and probably a mini review of just how this controller actually feels in your hands. So thank you so much for tuning in. This thing looks pretty fantastic actually, I'm pretty impressed. Hori's known to make pretty decently high quality third-party items for Nintendo. These are officially licensed by Nintendo though. There was no original Nintendo GameCube themed controller with Pikachu on it, and there was some for Mario, Luigi, Wario, and a few other characters throughout the years, but there's never been one for Pikachu, so this is kind of neat. My wife absolutely loves Pokemon and loves Pikachu and loves Mario Kart. That's what she's probably going to hopefully use this one for. The box packaging for this looks a lot like all the box packaging for anything Wii U related that's official. You have the blue style here with a good picture of what this will look like. It says Pikachu on it obviously, but you can just tell by the picture. Hori, it does say up here, but it does have the official Nintendo seal of quality, so apparently this thing should be pretty decent. On the side here, it tells you a little bit about how the buttons work. Features push-style L and R buttons, if that's what you're looking for. Turbo functionality, which is pretty awesome, and large control pad, which is probably bigger than the one on the original GameCube. On the back here, it does say a little bit more information about the console. If you're interested, this is the USA model. These were out in the States originally, and the side actually gives you a picture of the side of the controller. That's pretty neat. On the bottom, cute little picture of Pikachu with the Pokemon Battle Pad name on it. So that's everything. Let's actually open this up and take a look at what this is like. There's one little seal here that I have on mine. Maybe there's no seal depending on where you find it in your area. I bought this one at EB Games. I believe it was something like $30, somewhere around there. So I'm also going to compare this to the PDP Fight Pad because that one I thought felt a little bit cheap if you watched my review of that one. So just put this over there. This does come with a small instruction manual for you collectors out there that want to hold on to these kinds of things. I'm not going to look through that. That kind of looks pretty boring to me and probably just describes how you take care of the controller and how it works. Neat little cardboard insert that looks a lot like the official GameCube inserts of the past. And this one is in a baggie. It looks like there's one piece of tape on this. Just going to pull that up, pull it out of the bag, and let's take a good look at this. Alright, so we've got a completely plastic controller. Obviously, this one actually feels a lot lighter than the PDP controller. This is the official GameCube size, though, I believe, but I'm going to get to that in a second. So let's just take a look at how this controller functions, I guess. We do have the different speed buttons here. We have, it says 5, 10, and 20 as a little slider there that you have with the turbo functionality. You have the turbo button on and off, it looks like, with a little LED light that looks like it would glow green, I believe. The select, home, and start buttons are in yellow on this, as is the turbo button. And the other buttons look like they're very comparable in color, at least, to the original GameCube controller. I do have an original GameCube controller right here. And the controller does feel a lot lighter, though. It feels really light. I'm not sure if there's any weighting in this one. It's probably just the plastic casing, actually. The C-stick and joystick, I'm trying to compare them. They feel similar to, but not quite as good as. This one feels a lot more like plastic to me, actually. It feels a lot emptier, but that might just be because of the housing of the controller. The A-B buttons seem like they're responsive enough. I'm not sure if they're the exact same. They're very similar anyways, it's hard to tell without actually playing. It actually looks like the B button is slightly larger on this controller. That might just be my eyes. But the D-pad, without question, is definitely larger than the original. You can see right there. The original D-pad actually I had problems with on the GameCube controller. It was too small. So this one is bigger. I don't think the gamepad, it might be a slight improvement anyways. And these R and L buttons are said to be what? Push style. So let's see if the push style is any different. So we have the R and the L buttons. They're really, really quick to hit. On the old GameCube controller, obviously the R and L buttons took a while for them to actually go down. The ZR and ZLR buttons, actually, that's what those are. But the R and L buttons are very, very quick tap. It doesn't take you that long to do that force feedback of pressing it all the way down. This one's a lot faster, actually. So the controller, in terms of shape and size, looks like it's about the same. Let's just check out the height of this and how it was designed. It really does look like they took the casing, got Nintendo's permission, and did it the exact same. So maybe these are the official ones, whereas the PDP ones aren't as official. Height looks the same, width looks the same. I think it is the same housing anyways, but it doesn't have that same matte finish. It looks like these ones are more gloss finish or glossy finish. It does say Hori here, so you can tell obviously that this one's not an official Nintendo one, or anyways, one of the original Nintendo GameCube controllers. Here's the PDP Fight Pad versus the Battle Pad. So PDP makes the one on my left and Hori makes the one on my right. I really feel like the one on the left has a lot more weight to it. It feels a bit better actually in your hands, but it's not the original design of the GameCube controller. So if you're used to holding an original controller in your hands, you're probably going to want to get this one. These buttons, though, for ZR and ZL take a while to go down. L and R are the really quick trigger. On this Hori pad, though, it really depends on your preference or your style. This definitely feels like a cheaper controller, but it's neat that it's themed with Pikachu. Of course, this one as well, you also have to plug into a Wii Remote, so if that's what is negating you from actually buying this, you might want to try and just eventually find the GameCube adapter for your Wii U and play with an original GameCube controller. So this one, I would just say it does feel really cheap, but it's nice that it has the original design of the GameCube controller. I do like that. And the D-pad is a lot better, so that's the pluses. But the negative is that it's definitely a bit lighter. It depends on what R and L buttons you're looking for, because the R and L buttons on this one take a little while to go down, as opposed to the PDP, which seems a lot faster. So let me know as a comment below, have you used this before? What are your thoughts? What is your review or recommendation? Would you prefer the PDP over the over the Hori one, or vice versa? Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to fill that like bucket. Follow me on all the social media links in the description below the video. And remember, as always, go collect them all and keep smiling while gaming.